My name is Liana Letsos, and I will be reporting about the 2006 European heat wave. So, as you can see on the map, the central and western parts of Europe were the most affected by the rising temperatures that occurred. The regional climate of these areas include warm summers and cooler winters with a smaller range of yearly temperatures. And depending on the given month, you could easily predict the weather. So, what happened? The 2006 European heat wave was the second most severe heat wave that occurred since 1950, with the 2003 heat wave being more severe and definitely more deadly. So on the left, you can actually see an image of European tourists jumping into the fountains across from the Eiffel Tower just because it was so hot there. So a brief timeline. There were two separate heat waves that occurred, waves of the heat wave that occurred between early June and then it ended towards the end of August. This happened because hot and dry air traveled in a high pressure system from North Africa into Europe. The second heat wave was definitely more deadly than the first that occurred within the two waves. The direct cause of this is just overall global temperatures rising within climate change. This has increased the frequency of heat waves that we've seen globally and the intensity of heat waves as well. So some brief statistics. Ozone formation was greatly increased because in this time. In Italy, the main farmers union said that the country was suffering from one of the worst droughts they'd seen in 30 years with abnormally high temperatures and very low rainfall that destroyed many crops and caused droughts throughout Europe. So although the heat was actually centralized in Western and Central Europe, it affected all of Europe through like economic reasons. Just the increase of air conditioners too led to cuts in power supply because their electric grid could not handle that. And it totaled with 3,400 deaths. An overall impact, government started sponsoring education and awareness programs so people were more prepared for this heat wave, as well as health surveillance programs so they could monitor citizens' health more closely in effort to save more lives, as well as communication programs to make people more aware and prepared for the heat waves that were about to come. So as I talked about in the beginning, increased awareness about heat waves that started with the 2003 heat wave that was far more deadly made people a lot more prepared and led to a much lower mortality rate with the 2006 heat wave. These were my works cited pages. Thank you so much for listening.